What's going on, everybody? My name is Seth. I've been reselling since 2015. Today I want to tell you a little bit about my experience with online reselling and e-commerce and why I've incorporated it into my full-time career and how it has changed my life. In 2015, I walked into a call center that was run by a Fortune 50 corporation. I did the walkthrough of the facility. I saw the ping pong tables, the lunchroom, the atmosphere, the environment, and all I knew is that I wanted it. At the time, the Google work environment was romanticized, and so that was something that I was really trying to find. I remember something specifically when walking through that call center. They showed us this wall of all these pictures of people who had started on the phones and had grown into the organization. And for me, I mean, at that moment, I remember the thought that I had in my head was, I need to get in the door here. And that's exactly what I did. And I got in the door, I interviewed well, and within 8 to 12 months, they had pulled me off the phones. I was no longer talking to angry customers, and I was teaching others how to de-escalate customers and mentoring new hires. By 2017, I had taken on a mid-level leadership role. There's a plot twist with that. However, I saw a completely different side of the organization. I was busy managing changes and delivering really tough news. I was doing a lot of exiting people from the business. And in that experience, I learned that my job security was about as stable as a Jenga set in a windstorm. I was delivering a lot of changes, and I knew that the organization could pivot on a dime, and if that happened, my role would be jeopardized. So at the time, I also wanted to find a way to supplement my income, and I started watching YouTube videos of people who were buying items at thrift stores, reselling it on eBay, and I decided to venture into my own reselling gig. And so picture this. This is me scouring garage sales, pawn shops, thrift stores, taking it home. I had this little setup where I would, with a professional camera, take photos of all the items that I had purchased, edit the background so it was completely white, upload it to eBay, and sell whatever I could really get my hands on. I'd walk through the spaces and just look up stuff on eBay sold comps and try to make some money doing it. So I was able to supplement my income as a mid-level call center supervisor, and some more changes came down the pipeline, and I decided to apply to another role. I wanted to be a sales development manager with a door-to-door sales team. I took that role. I was very excited. It was a big pay bump. I was making about just under 100K, and the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, I realized that very quickly, due to my tenure with that team, I'd be the first one out the door, and that's exactly what happened. I got sent home in 2021, and with nothing to do, and with no college experience, with no college education, with very little corporate experience. And so what I ended up doing was, while the world was on pause, I noticed there was a surge in demand for Pokemon cards. And I ended up realizing, like, I'm in an area in the United States where there are a lot of Pokemon cards and others don't have access to it. So I combined nostalgia and technology, and I started going live on Instagram, doing rip and ship sessions, opening packs in real time, and then shipping out the cards that I pulled for them to eager collectors. It was almost like a game show, but with Pikachu, and it was pretty awesome. A lot of people do it now. It's very popular. At the time, it wasn't super popular, and I was able to make that work for me. I pulled in about 90K in revenue by just selling Pokemon cards on Instagram Live. It was an amazing experience. The sessions were absolutely electric. I mean, I got to do all the fun stuff. I got to connect with a community. I got to connect with enthusiasts, and then I got to ship out cards. I mean, it was all the fun parts about being a collector, plus, shipping out stuff. So I mean, it was a really great experience for me, until I got the phone call from the corporation that I worked at saying, "Seth, we want to have you back." So I returned, but I couldn't shake the reselling bug. Enter Whatnot. I don't know if you know what Whatnot is. Whatnot is an auction platform. Think eBay and Twitch put together. what I realized was that there was a new, an emerging category and whatnot, retro games. And it was a niche that I had spent some time understanding because on eBay, video games sold the fastest. What I did was I made connections, local connections on Facebook Marketplace, buying retro games, and I'm talking Sega, Super Nintendo, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, all the coveted Pokemon games, all the coveted Super Nintendo games, consoles, complete in box consoles, all the fun stuff about retro games. I started sourcing and curating these shows based on the inventory that I was able to come across, and I was buying it at anywhere from 30 to 50% market, and then I was able to sell it on Whatnot. And I was able to grow a Whatnot business while working for the corporation. When I got sent home for that 10 months, I realized that I never wanted to be in the position of my financial stability being compromised when the organization decided to change, if and when the corporation decided to change their mind about my value to the organization. So it was awesome. It was an awesome experience, and I would have kept going on Whatnot had they not opened the gates to let everyone come in as a seller, because when I applied to be a seller on Whatnot, it was hard to become a seller. So all of a sudden there were a ton of buyers, but it became very, very popular very quickly. And so the retro game category let everybody come sell. And what happens when everybody's there to sell? Prices get driven down, and all of a sudden I was selling video games to people who wanted to resell them as well. Wasn't a good business model at buying it for 50% market. But why stop there? In my mind, I wanted to grow a reselling business. I was ready to take the next steps. I had the bandwidth after work. I was working 9 to 5. From 5 to 9, I had all the time in the world to build a business. So I dove headfirst into Amazon. I had done a ton of research on Amazon when I started reselling in 2015, 2016. And what made the most sense to me was just going out there and getting the product. So online and retail arbitrage. It was an amazing experience over the first 3 Q4s that I got to work in. Q4 is an amazing time for retail arbitrage because all these stores are trying to get rid of inventory, and I am standing there in line ready to take it home and upload it onto Amazon. So I buy and resell things on Amazon. Since then, I've scaled my business. I've hired virtual assistants. I've explored the world of wholesale. Opportunities are opening up to me in Walmart.com. So the reality of this is I've been able to maintain my 9 to 5, but also secure financial stability in my 5 to 9, in my Amazon and Walmart reselling business. I don't know what the future holds for me. Amazon is a changing platform, changing terrain, but I do know that I've been able to support my family if I needed to on my reselling business alone. But because I have a job, I'm able to reinvest all of my capital and all of my profits back into the business and continue to exponentially grow year over year. My name's Seth. I run a channel called The Dual Hustle. If you have any questions on reselling, you're interested in trying it out, I have a 15-minute one-on-one consultation that you can book with me. Otherwise, if you just want to dive straight into Amazon, I have an Amazon Essentials checklist that you can also access down below. Subscribe, like, tell me what you liked about this video, and we'll see you on the next one.